Hello everyone, and welcome back to History of the Ancient World. Today we're journeying back in time to ancient China to uncover one of the most astonishing archaeological discoveries ever made. Imagine an entire army frozen in time for over 2 millennia, silent sentinels guarding the tomb of an emperor. This isn't a fantasy, it's the incredible reality of the Terracotta army. Our story begins in 1974 in the Shanxi province of China. A group of farmers were digging a well, hoping to find water during a drought. Instead of water, their shovels struck something hard. It was the head of a clay warrior. They had unknowingly stumbled upon a secret that had been buried for more than 2,200 years. What they found was just the tip of the iceberg, the first glimpse into a vast subterranean world built for China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang. So who was this emperor? And why did he commission such a monumental project? Qin Shi Huang, born Yingzheng, was a figure of immense ambition and power. He ascended the throne of the Qin state at just 13 years old, and by the age of 38 had conquered all rival states, unifying China for the first time in 221 BC. He declared himself the first emperor, or Shi Huangdi. His reign was transformative but also ruthless. He standardized weights, measures, currency, and even the width of cart axles to facilitate trade and control. He connected existing walls to form the precursor to the Great Wall of China and created a vast network of roads. However, alongside his quest for earthly power, Qin Shi Huang was obsessed with another goal: immortality. He sent expeditions in search of the mythical elixir of life and consulted with alchemists and sorcerers. But as a backup plan, he wanted to ensure his power and status would continue into the afterlife. This is where the Terracotta army comes in. The emperor believed he would need an army to protect him in the next world, just as he had in this one. Construction on his mausoleum complex began shortly after he took the throne and continued for nearly 4 decades, involving an estimated 700,000 laborers. This wasn't just a tomb. It was a full-scale replica of his empire, designed for eternity. The site is massive, covering an area of about 22 square miles. The Terracotta army itself is located in several large pits, about a mile east of the emperor's main burial mound. To date, 3 main pits have been excavated, with a 4th found empty, suggesting the project was left unfinished, perhaps due to the emperor's sudden death. Let's talk about the soldiers themselves, because they are truly breathtaking. Pit 1 is the largest, like a massive underground hangar, containing the main infantry force. It holds an estimated 6,000 soldiers and horses arranged in battle formation. You have vanguard archers, followed by rows of armored infantrymen holding spears and halberds, flanked by war chariots. The sheer scale and military precision are mind-boggling. It's a snapshot of the formidable Qin army that conquered a nation. Pit 2 is more complex, featuring a mixed force of cavalry, archers, and chariots, suggesting a mobile strike unit. Here you can see standing archers, kneeling archers ready to fire, and cavalrymen standing beside their mounts. Pit 3 is the smallest and appears to be the command post. It contains high-ranking officers and a war chariot, indicating it was the headquarters for this afterlife army. What makes these figures so extraordinary is their incredible individuality. When you hear army of 8,000 soldiers, you might picture identical statues mass-produced from a single mold. But that's not the case at all. Each warrior is unique. They have different facial features, hairstyles, expressions, and even builds. Some look young and determined, others older and more contemplative. Their hairstyles are intricately detailed, often tied in specific knots that signified their rank. The level of realism is astounding, from the tread on their shoes to the fine details of their armor, which was made of individual plates tied together. These were not just crude statues, they were masterpieces of ceramic art. The process of creating them was a feat of ancient engineering, almost like an assembly line. The heads, torsos, arms, and legs were created separately from molds and then assembled. After assembly, craftsmen would add the unique details by hand, carving the facial features and other individual characteristics. Finally, the figures were fired in kilns at high temperatures to make them durable. And it gets even better. Originally, these warriors were not the dusty grey color we see today. They were painted in vibrant, lifelike colors. Imagine them standing in their pits, gleaming with bright reds, purples, greens, and blues. The armor was lacquered to look like real leather and metal. Unfortunately, the moment these figures were unearthed and exposed to the dry air, the ancient lacquer and paint began to flake off, sometimes within minutes. Archaeologists are now using advanced techniques to preserve the original colors on newly excavated figures, giving us a rare glimpse of their original splendor. The weapons they carried were real, not ceramic replicas. The soldiers were armed with bronze swords, spears, crossbows, and arrows. And these weren't just for show. The craftsmanship of these weapons was incredibly advanced. Many of the swords were coated with a thin layer of chromium oxide, which protected them from rust for over 2 millennia. In fact, when archaeologists first uncovered them, some of the blades were still sharp enough to cut. The crossbows were powerful and sophisticated, a testament to the military technology of the Qin dynasty. Now you might be wondering, with all this discovered, what about the emperor's tomb itself? The actual tomb of Qin Shi Huang, which is said to contain palaces, rivers of mercury, and countless treasures, remains sealed. The ancient historian Sima Qian wrote a detailed description of the tomb, claiming it was a microcosm of the land, with mercury used to simulate the rivers and seas. Modern scientific surveys have indeed detected abnormally high levels of mercury in the soil of the burial mound, lending credibility to these ancient texts. So why haven't we opened it? There are a few reasons. Primarily, archaeologists are concerned that current excavation technology is not advanced enough to properly preserve what's inside. We saw what happened with the paint on the warriors. The treasures inside the tomb could be even more fragile. There's also the matter of the rumored booby traps, like mechanically triggered crossbows, mentioned in historical accounts. While some dismiss these as legends, no one is in a hurry to test the theory. For now, the final resting place of the first emperor remains one of history's greatest unopened treasures, waiting for a time when we can safely reveal its secrets without destroying them. The Terracotta Army is more than just a collection of statues. It's a window into the mind of one of history's most powerful rulers and the world he created. It tells us about the military might, the artistry, the beliefs, and the incredible organizational power of the Qin dynasty. It's a silent army that speaks volumes about the past, a testament to an emperor's quest for eternal life, and a legacy that has, in a way, granted him a form of immortality after all. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey to ancient China. What do you find most fascinating about the Terracotta Army? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to History of the Ancient World for more deep dives into the past. We'll see you in the next one.